Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. This is a slap of the bass. Means it's time for actually our brand new version of the Pugilist Corner. We are now the K9, the Dog Pound, presented by Mr. K9 Bundrage. What's up, K9? How are you doing tonight?
Oh, man. I feel like barking, baby. I feel like barking. What's happening with you, man? You all right, Jay?
Oh, yeah. I was, we were trying to get Barry Hunter in here right quick. I know he's out at the L.A. airport, and I'm hoping to get him in very soon. But first of all, man, how have things been going since last week?
Man, everything is moving fast. I'm sponsoring the Junior Olympics. So I'm throwing the Junior Olympics actually this Saturday and Sunday. So I'll be hosting that. And, my son, of course, he'll be in that. So we actually is going to host it at Tony Harrison's gym. Well, and he'll be out of town handling business while we'll be at his gym handling business.
Yeah, well, I got some business to handle with Tony when he brings his behind on here. You think I forgot? You think I ain't gonna talk about him just because he's on public radio? That's all right. Yeah, I got something for him. I'm gonna throw some blows and some hooks and jabs of my own, but that's all right. That's all right. Tony's a good friend of the show, man. We always appreciate having him on. I got to ask you, K9, there's some very disturbing news. I'm sure you might be a lot closer to it than I am, since you have a son participating in the sport, and you know how important the Olympics can be to a young fighter's career. What does it mean to fathers and coaches like you that have been training your son for the last 4 years to get, in line to possibly get an Olympic berth, and now they have all this controversy and they might not even be boxing in the Olympics. Have you heard anything about this? Is there what's going on out there in the amateur world?
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we talked about that. You talked about that earlier. It don't make no sense. I mean, they try to take, something that, was big and got us out here. I mean, I remember, seeing, the heroes in the boxing world on a Wheaties box, if they won the Olympics, you know what I mean? They taking that from us, and then, and it's sad because, boxing, we don't need no letdown. We need to keep on moving forward. And for instance, like Clarissa Shields, she has her big break, and her big breaks can't come from the Olympics. I mean, some of the best in the world, big breaks came from the Olympics. From Michael Jordan to Sugar Ray Leonard to, you name it, and we can claim it. And it's just sad to hear that they're talking about actually, canceling the Olympics. I mean, boxing in the Olympics. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, you can kind of see that they wasn't feeling boxing like that anyway, because when the last Olympics, I could never find when they was having a boxing show or a boxing fight. I was like, "Hey, where the boxing at?" There used to be a time you found boxing right away. Man, they pushed it back farther and farther and farther. You had to actually go to the guide. You had to go to someone that knew exactly where it was going to be at. Probably the fighters had to tell somebody, "Look, I'm fighting at this time, man. Tune in." They knew more than we knew. We didn't. I could never find no boxing matches. And for them to be talking about some letting it go, wow. terrible.
Well, now you spoke about last Olympics and we saw the different things that happened down in Rio and I mean there were even threats in 2012 about the scoring, about the corruption, and it's been almost a decade now since boxing and AIBA have been warned about their practices. But do you really think that they're going to have their acts together by 2020? And we will see, like you said. I mean, the only reason why you knew about Olympic boxing, you had to either stay up till 2:00 in the morning, or else you had to put on your DVR and record it because it wasn't given the exposure that it was given back, in the late 90s and early 80s and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And what now? I mean, what there's no Olympics? What is your platform now to launch these young amateurs into possibly pro careers when the biggest stage in the world has been denied?
Absolutely. So what's the sense of actually trying to compete to be the best amateur in the world if you can't go no further than that? The championships for the amateur elite fighters is winning a gold medal. I mean, that's the championship. When you turn pro, it's the belt. So now how do we create our superstars when they can't go to the Olympics now? So would they just go pro after so many fights? But who knows them? They're not representing the country as USA gold medalists. So there's no way to push their brand. We already don't have a lot of sponsorships no more. Sponsorships, they left and went to the NBA and other sports. So, I mean, it's going to really put a dent in actually amateur boxing. We're not going to know who the next person is coming up. I mean, unless he's on YouTube and making a lot of YouTube videos, and you have to really sell yourself even more. And it's sad. I mean, you can just see a lot of this stuff that's about to happen because then they start saying, "Hey, amateurs don't have to wear headgears and compete." And I mean, it's just sad. It's sad. It's terrible, and I hope it don't happen.
And I mean, when you just think about some of the coaches and trainers that have made their mettle on bringing up young fighters, spotting young talents, bringing them along through Junior Olympics, as you mentioned, USA boxing tournaments, things like this. But as you said, these things don't get that exposure, that type of exposure anymore. So we talked about teaching coaches like Emmanuel Stewart, Barry Hunter, a few others. Where do they go now to hone their craft? I mean, if you have, is this going to bring the cream of the crop to the top, or is this going to kind of put a lull in the talent pool that coaches are able to pull from?
Man, like I was saying, Jay, it's sad, and fighters get treated the worst out of any sport. No one gets treated worse than a boxer. There used to be a time when boxers were all that and some. Everybody and their daddy wanted to be a boxer. It's not like that anymore. Now everybody and their daddy want to be a basketball player or a rapper. I mean, not a boxer. And with this happening, and it might potentially not be a 2020 Olympics for the young men and the young ladies, it's definitely a dent in boxing. And if it goes through that it's not going to be no Olympics in boxing, man, where do boxing go from there? Who's the next superstar? How are we going to find the next superstar? There's not that many Al Haymans that's going to pop up and just say, I got $480 million to invest in boxing. Let's put it on Showtime. Let's put it on ESPN. Let's put it on Fox Sport 1. Thank God for guys like him, but it's not going to be another Al Heyman. And with the Olympics, being deleted, boxing is going to be in serious trouble.
What about the? I'm just trying to think here, man. I mean, what about possibly another show like The Contender? I mean, they are talking about bringing The Contender back.
Absolutely. And you know what? Funny you say that, because that, shows like that has helped the boxers like myself to be known, to be able to get opportunities they wouldn't probably have gotten without The Contender. It was The Contender, then we came out with 24/7. Then we came out with the Super 6. So we're gonna have to come up with some more platforms like other reality shows, or bring back 24/7 with another superstar. I mean, I don't know where this next superstar gonna come from if he's not being built through the amateur ranks. I mean, can't wait. People can't wait. They live their whole life. Some fighters, especially those Cuban fighters, they stay amateur for until they like 30 something, close to 40, just to win the Olympics. I mean, it's big in a lot of countries to win the Olympics, and it's not going to be any boxing Olympics. That's the only way out for some fighters, the Cubans and them. It's sad. I mean, it's really sad. Seriously, it's really sad. Some fighters, that's all they got is boxing. I mean, to be honest with you, that's all I had was boxing. I mean, I didn't have an amateur career. I came from the ground up. But, what can we do, man? All we can do is pray and, keep the radio show going, you know what I mean? And, let it be known, hey, we against it. We don't feel it's right. We have to boycott the people that's trying to boycott the people.
Well, hey, we always say that boxing is all about the money. And, it's just like everything else. You follow the trail of the money. I thought it was, to me it was kind of funny, kind of a little apropos, but K9, did you notice the gentleman in the back of Mr. Martirosyan with the flyaway hairstyle and the American flag?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Veins. Hey, Triple G went all through his veins. Oh, my goodness. Hey, the good. I always said I wanted to talk about a subject of the show. It's going to always be the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to have one version of it and talk about it. And I think the good was we actually got a chance to see a fight on Cinco de Mayo Day. And, even though the bad, it wasn't Canelo, because unfortunately, he ate some meat that had Hulk Hogan in it. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the bad. And the ugly was, oh man, how Veins just got destroyed. I mean, he got destroyed, man. That Triple G, I mean, I don't think people are gonna be knocking down his door like it was before he fought Jacobs.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing about that, and I'm not taking anything away from Triple G. Triple G is a great champ. Almost 36 years old, and that all that part is amazing. But Manis hadn't been in the ring in 2 years. He was moving up in weight, and basically for Vanis and Don King, it was a great payday. Triple G, the one thing about Triple G is that Triple G is going to be Triple G. He's not going to pull his punches. He's not going to go out there and try to, let a guy stand up and as we always talk about, get rounds in. Triple G, get in, get out, done. But I think with go ahead. Well, I got to ask you, man. We saw Danny Jacobs in the ring. Okay, he called out Charlo, but as I said, man, we got Danny Jacobs, Triple G 2. We we got a chance for Charlo called out Triple G tomorrow. So
absolutely,
there are some young lions out there looking for Triple G.
That's true. That's true.
Especially, and you can speak to this. There are certain fighters that you want to get a little old and a little long in the tooth before you go out there and jump in the ring with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You might think you had the advantage. You know that these people are dangerous. So
absolutely.
Triple G looked good against a guy that wasn't supposed to really take a lot of time. I mean, Van has that warrior mentality, much like you. I got a good plan, but then it's when I get hit, I want to fight. Well,
absolutely.
You can't fight with a guy that out punches you. So
that's true. That's true.
What do you think is next for Triple G?
Hey, I want to elaborate too a little bit again on the Vane situation. Vane's a cool guy. We done talked and kicked it before too. But once I found that he wanted his wife to stay home, it's like, where's the confidence at? On Twitter, Facebook, you might be saying this and saying that, but if you tell your wife to stay home, that's like, it's not showing confidence. I'm not going to tell my wife to not come to the fight, because I feel like anybody I get in there with, whether I win or lose, and I'm gonna knock out and beat. So that wasn't a good look. But you know what? With Triple G is getting older, and I feel like, some people get better when they get older. But what I think with him at 160, I think that's a hard weight for him to actually maintain getting older. If he was to move up to 168 and pick the right fights, he would actually probably do even better. Because at 160 now, with these young lions coming up, who are a lot younger, who not killing themselves to make weight, because Charlo fought at 154, was killing himself at 154. But at 160, he's young and he should be even stronger. So, and even Daniel Jacobs, if he can beat cancer, and ain't no telling who, he can beat anybody. So I just think that, Triple G, he has to fight the right fights. I believe they'll cash out on another big payday, but stay away from, them young lions like, Charlo, and maybe even Jacobs. I don't know what kind of fight it would be if him and Jacobs fought again, because I believe that Jacobs could actually really, really, really beat Triple G. I think more or less he was just, trying to make a good showing, didn't want to get stopped, and felt good that he didn't get stopped. But I believe he actually could have won a fight, even though some people think he won. I mean, when you the champ, you got to take it from the champ. And they wasn't about to let Jacobs beat Triple G on a decision when they got the fight between Triple G and Canelo ready to go for Cinco de Mayo Day. Too much money involved.
K9, I think I see Tony here in the queue. So, Mr. Harrison, is that you, Mr. Harrison?
Oh, it's Tim from Detroit.
That's Tim. That's Tim Dog.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Man. Hey, man, I just want to say, Dane, man, how I missed this show, man, so much, man. I forgot the number. And like I said, I had like 3 or 4 different phones, man. I forgot the number. I couldn't remember. At one time, I memorized the number so good that I was on the show every day, Even with this boxing champion, man, great boxing champion K9 online, man. It's just a beautiful thing, man. Man, I got a Kool-Aid smile on my face, K9.
That's good. Hey, you was close. He thought you was Tony. You know what I'm saying? It was Tim. It was a T. You was close.
Yeah. hey, K9, truly, this is Mike Tyson, man. It's Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah. Hey, man. Tim can fight, man. Hey, look, I sparred Tim before.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim. I was about to let Tim hit me. Tim a heavyweight.
Hey, man, move, baby. And that day when we sparred, when we boxed, I knew then, man, that you was a champion, man. You know what I'm saying? I knew that, man. And like when I used to get on the show, and I used to tell James and everybody, they didn't see they didn't see the fighter that I saw in you, man. You know what I'm saying? And man, and you know, it was a stumbling block in your way for a minute, man. But you did get over it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people wouldn't got over like you did. You know?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, man.
Yep. I had to kick the door down. That's right. You gotta kick the door down, man. You know they would let me up in here if I had to kick the door down.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I had to do. Yeah, I ain't letting them stop me, man. Yeah. Yeah,
but you know, James, man, I missed the show so much, man, because we focus all on the good fighters, man, and K9 was one of them, man. You know, yeah, it's true. I love this show, man. Yes, sir.
Real recognize real, buddy. Yeah.
So, James, man, so I know you heard about K9's son, huh?
Yeah. We talked about the son, and then we talked about the fact that there might not be boxing in the Olympics, and I was just thinking about how that affects guys like K9. Trainers like Barry Hunter, Phil Ford. I mean, these guys train amateurs and look forward to, bringing you the next champ and putting in the work.
Yeah.
How do their dreams get fulfilled now? And where do we look to find the next pro in the amateur ranks when the amateur boxing program is so deteriorated? And now you're talking about doing it on the international level. Tim, what do you think about that?
Man, it's something to think about, really, truly, man. Because, like I said, like you just expressed, that there is a lot of good, man, trainers, man, fighters, man, that haven't even made it to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? And it's something to really, really think about, man. That's why I listen to this show, man, because y'all be hitting on all the main topics, and just listening to you talking about it, man, just like, wow, ringing bells, like, wow, he right, So, hey, man, I'm with you, James. It's something that needs to be talked about, I think, discussed. Or, I mean, carefully start, doing a better looking at it, you know what I mean? Looking at these fighters, man, because you got a lot of fighters, man, that's trained warriors, you know what I'm saying? And they train hard, they fight hard, man, to get to where they get, you know what I'm saying, where they at, And it's not easy, being a boxer.
You look at it, this year we don't have a New York Golden Gloves. They've had a different, organization take it over, but the New York Golden Gloves have been around, since the 19th?
The beginning of time. Back in, what I'm saying? Jake Johnson days, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So when you talk about gyms in New York, like the Bronx gym, you talked about the Croton gym in Detroit. I mean, where do these boxing programs go now? And what's the showcase? I mean, K9's talking about he has a junior Olympic thing going, but I'm going to bring one of the USA boxing guys on in a couple of weeks. But I mean, where do all these the kids that turn to boxing heroes?
You're right, Jay. Right.
I mean, it's more than just the Olympics when you start talking about dismantling, boxing programs, youth programs. All of these things suffer.
Yeah, you're right, Jazz. You're 100% right because, I've been thinking too, maybe since, Emmanuel Stewart had passed, and it seemed like Kronk had not. It seemed like, you would think and hope that it would steady go forward, but it seemed like it took a couple steps backwards. You don't hear from no more Kronk fighters, or you don't hear anything about fighters trying to come up. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear nothing about where the Kronk gym at. And I know it was a pastor at the church was trying to help the fighters, at Kronk, trying to keep it, keep the program going and everything, because it's really important,
Yeah, that's the thing about boxing, though, Tim. You know what I mean, James, is that boxing will never die. So they can try to kill it all they want to. It's kind of like Jason on Friday the 13th. You try to shoot it down, but it's gonna keep coming back alive. You know what I mean? I mean, and this year, look, we done had one of the best years. No, we say last year. Last year was one of the best boxing years, I mean, in a long time. And this year, you know what I mean, with the hype that's behind Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, I mean, we got a great fight that's going to come up with Lomachenko and Linares. I mean, you know, even Adrian Brown, he got a new change and different training and fought good against Garcia. I mean, Vargas. I mean, you know, boxing will never die. They can try their best to try to kill it. Like I say, like Jason, it's going to keep coming back forward.
Yeah, but you know, it's gonna take y'all boxers, man, to step up too, though. You know, the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And you know, and K9, that you want them, and you know, you promote, you know, working out, training good, and everything. And hey, man, it's gonna take y'all to really, you know, to keep it the way it is or make it better. You know, it's gonna take y'all to do it. You know? Right.
This radio show, this platform right here. I mean, you still got these YouTube channels, man. You know, you can actually go and look at Muhammad Ali and go look at Jack Johnson. So it's history there. You know what I mean? Thank God for the internet and the YouTube. That's really helping the boxers. And matter of fact, the fighters are the ones that's actually acting as promoters nowadays. You don't even really need a promoter, but the promoters don't have to do as much work as they used to. I mean, because if I just get on YouTube or get on internet, get on Instagram, what? I'll knock your head off. What? You won't do nothing. So now they go build up. That's what look at Daniel Jacobs and Charlo. Everybody talking about that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, K9, like Ken was saying, we haven't heard a lot from Kronk. I know Milt McCrory took over the boxing program over there. Have you heard much from Milt?
Yeah, I actually was one of the trainers over there. I was over there training for a minute, but then, you know, my son, he had to compete. He won the state championship, so we had to go we had to fly out to Tennessee. Then he won that. And then we went to Utah where he got sick, so I couldn't actually be in one spot to kind of help with the program over at Crunk's. I mean, I still actually, the young lady who works for Miss Stewart, Emmanuel Stewart's widow, she actually called me yesterday, you know, because she heard about the product I got. It was a young man in the gym. He had my boxing shoes on, and she said she wants to actually, you know, get some for the team because she liked them. And you know, yeah, Crunks, you know what I mean? It ain't like it used to be. And to be honest with you, it'll never be another like Crunk, where you know, it was blood, sweat, and tears. But you know, the name is still alive. The name is still alive, and you got Milt McCrory, who's one of Emmanuel Stewart's best friends. He's still running the program. I mean, Miss Stewart, which is, you know, Emmanuel Stewart's widow, she's still there. So, you know, and then you got Sugar Hill doing a great job. He's doing a great job with Adonis Stevens. He's doing a great job. Yeah, so
you had a lot of fighters, man, like K, man, Lee, what's the name, Robert Womack, man, you know, there were some good fighters, man.
Yeah, Ricky Womack, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You got a couple of other fighters. Dwight Davison, remember him? Middleweight, went undefeated for a long time. So man, we can go on forever when it comes to talking about Crunk fighters. I mean, everybody and they cousins done came from Crunks, done came out of Crunks or done been in Crunks. I'm talking about from Floyd Mayweather to Floyd Mayweather Jr., Oscar De La Hoya. I done saw some of the best out of Crunks. And you talking about sparring? Man, listen, I haven't saw a fight probably to this day on HBO that was better than some of the wars that was down at Crunks. I'm talking about, you got Tommy Hearn sparring Milton McCrory. You got Bernard Swabad Mays sparring with Gerald McCullough. You got Gerald McCullough sparring with John David Jackson. I mean, come on, man. You got Caveman Lee. Caveman Lee. He in there with Dwight Braxton. You got Davison. He in there with Michael Moore. Oh, man. Man. So they never produced more champions out of Crunks than any gym ever.
K9, you know, this
that's
last
right.
weekend, we did see some female fighters, Miss Brexis against Reese. But I was more excited about seeing Jonathan Banks in the ring.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what I'm thinking, is sooner or later, with this breakfast young lady, there's going to be a showdown between at least one of Demetrius Salita's fighters, which means either Christina Hammer or Clarissa Shields. So, what would you think about Jonathan coming in the ring on the opposite side of a Detroit fighter?
You know what? She is from Michigan. She's not quite from Detroit. But at the end of the day, though, it's business. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm gonna go where the money is at. And Jonathan Banks, of course, he's a crunk fighter himself. He had a lot up against him with him taking over her corner at the very last minute because Lucia Riker was actually her trainer for the whole, camp. And for him to go in there and do that job that he did a great job at the last minute. I mean, that would have all fell on him if she wouldn't have won because she got buzzed. I mean, she ain't smoked no blood, but she got buzzed. I mean, she got dropped. It was looking nasty. but Jonathan, he held his peace. You know what I mean? He got that experience from training Klitschko. So, he did a great job. And I was excited to see, Dominique Dalton, you know what I'm saying? He got a little shine, just to be, his face out there, and it was good. But I think that for what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing on the net is that she actually is talking about fighting Cyber, the UFC fighter.
Yeah,
she's talking about fighting.
We had Melissa Smith on the show Sunday from Girls Boxing, to talk about that. She laid out a very good, the expectations. But, it was like I said, man, if she got dropped last weekend by Reese, then there's no way in the world that I think she should move up to place Clarissa Shields. She's not a heavy puncher. She's a boxer, and I think K9, you guys would know more than me going up in weight. It's not all that easy. I mean, when the other person is already a natural at that weight. So absolutely. With Clarissa, I don't think that the young lady, she don't want that work with Clarissa. And with her being with Jonathan Banks, I think they need to jail for a minute first, take a regular fight, get used to each other, have a couple of camps or whatever, and then fight Clarissa because the money might be there. Then you got to build some of the stuff. You got to build up. Well, Well, speaking of build-up, I'm going to bring our first guest in, Mr. Tony Blanco. Good evening, Mr. Blanco. How are you doing? Hello? Hello, Mr. Blanco. Well, let's carry on our conversation. I'll keep going with him. What do you thinking with these last fights that we talked about? K9, the one thing that I was really disappointed about, and we spoke about it a lot on Sunday, is why were they fighting 2-minute rounds? I think, if the women, we've seen other fights, as a matter of fact, 3 10-minute rounds, and we've heard from some of the ladies, we'd rather fight 3-minute rounds, but we want to get paid for fighting 3-minute rounds. I can understand that. But,
right, absolutely.
What do you think about I think Melissa was telling us Sunday, the WBC, that's the green belt, right? WBC?
Absolutely.
Okay, the WBC will not sanction women fighting 3-minute rounds. Isn't that a little absurd? I mean, when you train 3-minute rounds. What's the difference here, K9?
I actually believe that, to be honest with you, if they call themselves trying to protect the women's boxing, you protect them by letting them fight 3-minute rounds. Because that extra minute, all they're going to do is they got time to gather themselves, and they got enough time to go the distance. They don't have to rush. With it only being 2-minute rounds, they go actually throw punches from the fences. They're going to keep throwing punches and connecting because they know they only got 1 minute left. So it's actually more dangerous with it being 2-minute rounds than 3-minute rounds, because you got to hurry up and do what you're going to do. So, I mean, that's why a lot of the young ladies boxing is very entertaining, because it's like an amateur fight. You have pro women boxing fighting like amateurs, because amateurs, they go 2-minute rounds. When you're a pro and you're a female, male, I wouldn't care if you're a female or male, you should be going 3-minute rounds. I mean, how can a woman, and you do have some women that look like they better than some of these men, but how can you actually, pay the women the kind of money that they probably deserve with them only going 2-minute rounds?
You make a lot of money. You make a lot of money.
Yeah, hey, look, right. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, man, maybe it got quiet. It got quiet. I thought somebody was stuck on that one.
No, I was actually getting our next guest in the queue, Mr. Tony Blanco. Tony, how are you doing?
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you for having me, and thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. You're on our brand new show, The Dog Pound, with K9 Boxing. We have the 2-time world champ, K9.
How you doing? Yeah. What's happening, Tony? You all right, bro?
Oh man, I'm blessed to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, pleasure. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Tony, let's talk a little bit about your career and how things have progressed. First of all, how did you get into the boxing, the sport of boxing, and how did you become a trainer? What was your motivation? A little bit about Mr. Blanco.
Well, I started just managing fighters. I started managing this fighter, and while looking for a gym for him to train, we couldn't find a gym for him to train. So he told me why don't I open a gym? So that's what I did, and here we are, 5 years later.
Good news.
And then the funny story is that I thought I was going to be behind the scenes in the office, But unfortunately, the gym grew so fast, I had to be on the floor. So I fell in love with the sport, and I've just been stuck training and, taking care of the business side and also training a little bit,
So how long have you been doing this, Mr. Tony?
For about 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 5 years. You a baby in the game then.
I sure am. And I got so much to learn, and I'm just so thankful that the boxing community have embraced me and is giving me all these opportunities.
That's right. That's right.
I actually have a trainer, the head trainer at my gym. He's been in boxing for 55 years, so I'm blessed to have him on my side. He's 73, but you would never know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So,
that's good. I know. I know when Emmanuel Stewart was alive, like he was a blessing to a lot of the younger fighters because he was able to teach them. So it's good if you got someone with all that knowledge to be able to help you.
Exactly. No, I'm so grateful. Even the fighters, everybody helps me, and I learned a little bit from everybody, and it's just I just fell in love with the sport, and I'm thankful for everyone that has given me an opportunity to learn from, and I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Tony.
Now this is your first event. Am I correct?
Yes, it is. hopefully the first one of many.
You want to tell us a little bit about it? The fighters that are going to be on your card. Setting it up.
Well, we headline. The main event is Popeye, the Sailorman Rivera. His name is Richard, and a very popular guy.
I love it.
Like,
we've had Popeye on the show. I remember it. Yes.
Oh, okay. So he's actually the main event. He's going to be defending his UBF All-American belt. He's fighting this fighter from Mexico that's 12-3, very tough and rugged fighter. And we have the co-main event. We have a bunch of local fighters from Connecticut.
You know what? That's smart. As well, because it'll sell out with all the local fighters there.
Oh yeah, all my A-side guys are all from Connecticut.
Okay, that's smart. That's smart.
I noticed that you were talking about some of the famous Connecticut fighters and kind of included them as bringing back the good old days of Connecticut boxing. I saw you had Shelby there. I think you had Marvin Hagler, a bunch of Connecticut guys, as you said.
Oh yeah, we have
talk about how you've been embraced by the boxing community in Connecticut.
Oh, it's all love. It's all love. I'm very thankful for them guys to take me under their wing and show me the ropes, and I'm just thankful for this opportunity. Everybody, we have Connecticut is a hotbed for fighters. I mean, it dates back to 100+ years ago.
Yeah. I fought in Connecticut before. Connecticut is a good spot. I fought there before.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. We got 2 casinos, and they host big old fights there all the time. So.
Yeah, that's good. What is your promotion called?
The Hartford Boxing Promotion.
Okay. All right. And you the CEO. You the CEO? HNIC?
Well, I'm the licensed promoter, but I have 2 other partners. So my partner is Michael Tran. He's also my partner at the gym, and we got together with Popeye, and he's also our partner. Our main event is also our partner, Popeye the Sailorman Rivera.
Oh, you know what? That's real good, man. I take my hat off to you for that, because a lot of fighters nowadays are actually trying to get in the promotion part. If you notice that when Triple G fought, he had Triple G Promotions. You got Mayweather Promotions, ex-fighters and fighters that got their own promotions. So just with you even allowing this guy or partnership with this guy to help him, launch off his promotions or be a part of your promotion, that's a good look. I compliment you.
Because in boxing, as you all know, there's no retirement in boxing.
That's right.
There's no, that we as promoters and as sort of counselors of these fighters, because we wear many hats. We have to put them in the right situation so they can, flourish after boxing. And a lot of times, boxers. That's right. They don't, for whatever reason, they don't save their money or they don't have anything after boxing. So I just want to make sure that all the fighters that are under our umbrella are set, not only while they fighting, but when they retire.
That's right. Now, Tony, I'm gonna talk a little negative here, because I mean, if nothing else on this show, we do get real and we ask real questions. Now, we all know that promoters, especially over the last decade, have really had a shady reputation. Not only
promoters,
in promoters,
right.
in the sense of how they treat their fighters, the contracts, things like this. Now, you just coming new to this game the last 5 years. What made you decide to come into the promotion game, knowing how all the dirty business that's associated with it?
Sure.
Why didn't you just stay a trainer?
Well, because business that's what I do. That before boxing, that's what I did, and that's what I'm good at. So it was easy for me to become a promoter. And to be honest, I have no fighters on the contract, and I don't plan on having any fighters on the contract. Just so, I don't. I'm gonna treat every fighter so good that they're not gonna want to go nowhere.
Right. Oh, wow.
So to me,
everybody needs.
Listen. Well, the way we're doing our thing here is like a good old man-to-man handshake. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want to lose, I'm not gonna hold you back. I'm not one of those. I mean, hey, however they want to run their business, I'm not gonna hit here and because they've been doing it longer than me. But that's how I want to conduct my business.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I figure if I put these fighters in the best position to win, and when I mean win, it's like make some money and be able to provide for their families. Hey, they're gonna stick around and they're gonna continue to fight for our card, So.
Hey, but Tony, let me tell you, Tony. Trust me when I tell you, it cost me $600,000 just by doing business like that with the handshake. So I mean, once you build a fighter up, you want to get some paperwork on them because trust me, some fighters can be dirty, just like some of the promoters, some of the managers, and you put all that work. Yeah, go ahead.
No doubt. But I don't worry about that. I'm worried about today, and if they want to leave, they leave, and so be it. But I want to put every fighter in the best position to win, not only in the ring but at life.
Well, you know what? I like that because guess what? Chances make champions. Taking chances.
That's right.
right. Yeah.
And you gotta build them up. You gotta build these fighters up. And what happens is a lot of times fighters will sign a contract with a promoter. The promoter don't put no money up. And a lot of fighters, they get sidetracked. Oh, I'm signed to a promoter. But the promoter has no risk. It's just a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
And then they put you in a tough fight.
Yeah, and then, at the same time, you're not shooting yourself in the foot because you're not guaranteeing a guy, okay, on the contract, I'm going to give you 6 or 7 fights. If things don't work out, he can go his way, you can go your way.
That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? And it's
Absolutely.
worked so far. I got 9 fights on my first card, and we expect to sell out the place because we haven't had boxing in so long, and Hartford is like a hotbed for boxing. People want boxing.
Absolutely. So how many seats does the arena hold? As you actually throwing a fight in the big arena or no?
Yeah, I'm actually doing it at it holds about 10,000 seats.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
And you feel like y'all gonna sell it out?
Well, we hope so. I mean, I'm lucky to have Mr. Richard Rivera on our side. He's a very popular fighter, and he can fight.
Absolutely.
And that boy can fight. And he's been sparring world-class fighters, current and former champions, so that boy can fight. And he's going to make a name for himself, and we're just happy to have him on our team.
Yep. That's good. Yep, he got a following. If you got a following, you going to do well regardless,
Oh,
just like so.
Listen, he fought 2 hours, almost 3 hours away and he was able to sell over 100 tickets.
Okay.
People drove through a 5-hour storm.
Yeah.
It took them 5 hours, almost 6 hours to get there, and more than 100 people went to see this man.
Okay, that's good.
And in no time, I'm telling you, in no time, Popeye will be one of the top fighters in the world. You'll know. You'll find out.
Yeah, you a straight shooter too, because you a straight shooter because you could have said, he sold 400, 500 tickets, and I'd be like, wow, he did. So you kept it 100. That's right. 100 is still a lot for somebody going to drive to come see you.
He'll sell 2,000, and this is his homecoming, by the way, because he was born and raised in Hartford, and this is his first time fighting in Hartford in front of his hometown. So,
hey, I might have to come out.
What's his record?
Say what?
What's his record?
He's 7-0 right now with 6 knockouts.
Oh yeah.
And on his 5th fight, he took on a 10-2 guy that fought on TV, that fought Benavides on TV. And nobody with a 5 fights will take on that big assignment there.
Hey, so Tim, you better slow down, Tim, before he knock you out.
Listen, let me tell you.
I think you're too slow. No.
Listen, I'm trying to tell everybody he's the truth, and he's 178, but he moves like a welterweight.
Oh yeah,
okay.
He's 178. Huh? He fighting light heavyweight.
Yeah, he light heavyweight, but I'm telling you, he's like the reincarnation of Roy Jones Jr., baby.
Oh, like that. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. We gotta check him out then.
No, all right, Tim. You better get on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And we also we have this kid called his name is Sherrod Collier.
Yeah.
He's gonna be making his pro debut. He's also from Hartford. He's on his way to the Golden Gloves Nationals. And when we get back, he's gonna turn pro. And this kid is special. They call him the special ones.
Oh, really? What weight class?
Yeah.
What weight class?
He's gonna pro debut
What's
at
his
140.
weight class, Tony?
He's gonna pro debut at 140.
Okay.
But eventually we're gonna bring him down.
Middleweight.
Middleweight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now you better watch.
Hey, listen. Hey, he like heavyweight. So if he like heavyweight, we in a different weight class. But I wouldn't mind coming. I wouldn't mind coming down there, man, and getting a little sparring with some of you guys.
You're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. Make sure you let me know so I can have all the legends there for you, man. Like the Marlon Starlin and all that.
That's right. K9 legend.
Yeah.
Hey,
right. That's right. K9 legend. That's right.
Well, James knows exactly where you at. I have to come out there with James or something, so you can make sure if they act up, we can get that water gun and shoot with the water gun. You gotta blind them or something. Right. I ain't moving as fast as I was moving now. These boys get younger and stronger.
Yeah.
I know that.
Tony, I want to ask you about the Olympics and the possibility of not having boxing in the Olympics. What are you thinking here?
It's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. It's sad. It's just sad, man. It's really sad. I don't know what to think and say, and I just so much politics in amateur boxing. It's just incredible. And I don't know about AIBA. It looks like AIBA is trying to take over the boxing all over the world. So, if you think about it, the United States is the only one that are not run pretty much by AIBA. I don't know. It's just horrible. I don't know exactly what goes on in those offices, but not having boxing in the Olympics is just horrible. It hurts my heart just thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, all these kids. This is like unlike any other sport, man. The type of work that these kids go through day in and day out, and for you to rob them from that dream of making the Olympics and representing your country, I mean, it's just horrible, man. It's sad. Like, I got kids in the gym that's all they think about. They don't even think about professional. All they think about is representing the United States in the Olympics. You know, and they work so hard. Some of them been working since 8 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just sad, and I don't know what to think. When I read the story the other day, I was like, I can't believe this. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but it's hard just to think about it.
Well, we all got to become one, and we all got to, you know what I'm saying, vocal our voice. We got to keep letting them hear us, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Got to keep talking. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. No.
It'll be tragic. It was devastating.
That's
terrible.
It's crazy. That's terrible. Yeah, well.
Tim, you know, we've seen a lot of televised boxing this year. Showtime brought out a brilliant slate at the beginning of the year for the first half of the year. We see HBO is starting to catch up a little bit. They only had 4 shows originally scheduled this year. This week we have boxing on Bounce TV as well as ESPN. Tony, you know, in the middle of what seemingly is such growth, what do you think are some of the main problems facing our sport today?
Well, there's no denying that boxing will never die. First and fact,
that's
boxing
right. That's right.
Boxing will go on forever. It will never die. MMA will never take over anything. Boxing will never die. That's first and foremost. I think I don't know, to be honest. I'm not even going to, you know, even try to pretend I know what's going on. But to me, I think in the last 2 years or so, you know, 2017, we had a great year. Great fights. You know, it almost looked like back in the 80s because although I've been in the business of boxing 5 years, I've been a fan all my life. And I see, you know, what great fights back in the 80s. And so, you know, 2017, it almost brought me back to those times where the best fought the best. So, and I think in 2018, we're heading into that right direction as well. So boxing is not dead. I mean, what's the numbers? Joshua put 90,000 people to see a boxing match.
Absolutely. That's right.
I mean, boxing is not dead at all. And every time, you know, we have a major fight, you know, we packed arenas all across the nation, 30,000 plus. So boxing is not dead. I think we are in the right direction as far as putting the right fights. So I think we're doing good. As a sport in general, I think fighters should have like a retirement plan or something. You know, I don't know, but you know, so many. I don't know. I think it should be regulated. You know, professional boxing. All the other sports have a governing body, so I don't know. You know, I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here to try to figure out. You know, all I know is that boxing right now, I think, is doing very well especially for the past 2 years. Nothing but great fights.
Now, I got once again. I have to go over to the negative side. Tony, what do you think the Canelo testing positive twice? What do you think about A, the suspension, and B, how big an influence do you think that's going to have on the boxing public?
and I don't know. That's a tough one because, you know, there's so much money involved in that fight. And, you know, it's tough. I'm like, I'm at a neutral. I don't know. I don't even know what to think when it comes to that because it was kind of like a don't do it again kind of patting on the wrist, you know. Make sure. I don't know. I don't know. I like to stay out of it, you know, because that fight will happen.
Right.
It's just too much money.
Yeah. Man, you know what? Yeah. You know what it is, but I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, to me, he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's a good fighter. I would even say he's a great fighter. But he's really not a 160-pounder. That's probably why, you know what I'm saying, he ate that meat. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a little guy. So I think he's going to pick and choose to fight whoever he want to fight. I don't think he's going to fight Triple G in September. He going to take a tune-up fight, you know what I mean, something that's easy. You know, maybe a Amir Khan rematch or something.
You know, I tell you who deserves a shot at a real big fight, and that's my one of my main guys, Demetrius Andre. Boo Boo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He deserves a big fight.
We just had Demetrius on the show too last week.
Absolutely.
He's my guy. He's my guy. And if there's anybody that deserves a big fight, it's him.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Tony, thank you so much for your time, man. It was good talking to you. We hope to have you back on the show soon. And why don't you give our audience your final thoughts and any social media that they can find you on.
Thank you for having me on your show. Looking forward to more times. And, you know, follow us on Facebook, on all social media, Hartford Boxing Center. And be on the lookout because we coming.
We coming. The dog is coming. That's right.
Hey, man. Hey, Mr. Tony, man. It's a pleasure, man, hearing your voice, bro. Man, you know what I'm saying? The activity you got going on in Hartford, man. Man, I wish you good luck, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep up the good work, too, man.
I wish to hear you on the show again, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you
thank you so much,
man.
Mr. Blanco.
All right. Have a good night.
We look forward to you too.
God bless you.
All right. Likewise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good to. Who did I lose? I think I might have lost. I think we might have lost Tim here for a minute. Hope he calls back in.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was good talking to Tony. I appreciated all that he had to offer there. Text Tony and tell him to call back in. We knocked him off by accident. So text him. Maybe he'll get back in. I'm going to get Mr. Our next trainer here on the show. And Mr. Hal Chernoff is actually a Hall of Fame trainer out of Maryland. He's just been inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame down there. And I wanted to get him in, of course. You know, we always like to get in trainers from the D.C. area. We got big fights coming up down there. The Russell family is putting on a big boxing show. Of course, Gary is taking on the young man.
Diaz.
Young Hole Diaz. And this could be a very interesting fight. But there are some fights that are being made that I want to kind of talk to you about the K9. We've heard that now that there might be what is it? I'm trying to think. Class am I talking about here?
Junior middleweight? Come on, Trout?
No. Timothy Bradley coming out of retirement to fight Adrian Broner. That was what I was talking about.
Wow.
Did you text him?
Yeah. You said what again now?
I said text him, tell him to come back in. I hit him by accident, and I don't think he's in the queue anymore.
Right. Oh, you said text him? Okay, I got you.
Yeah, just text him and tell him to come back in while I get our next guest on.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
As I was saying about Mr. Chernoff, he has actually been inducted into the Maryland Boxing Hall of Fame, and K9, you know, when you get recognized by your own state, it's a very fulfilling accomplishment to be recognized by those in your state as being one of the best, whether it's a trainer, a fighter, or anyone else. But Mr. Chernoff has certainly put in the time in the ring, and we're introducing Mr. Hal Chernoff, Hall of Fame trainer from Maryland. Mr. Chernoff, how are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing fine. We are doing fine. This is a kind of a night that we're talking about the trainers, talking about their passion for the game. And I was looking at your Wikipedia and some of the information that's on the net. Sir, can you kind of give us a little background, like, how you became a trainer, what made you want to become a trainer, a little bit about Mr. Chernoff?
Well, I come from a little town in upstate New York, farming community, not that far from Canastota. And, like every town might have its hometown hero, we had a heavyweight fighter that was like our hometown hero. His picture was in the bowling alleys and all the bar rooms. So a lot of the kids aspired to want to be able to box, but there was no boxing program. And what we did back then was kind of like what you would call sandlot boxing. One pair of gloves, any weight, any time, any person. You just kind of keep going all night long until you don't feel like going anymore. And I was one of the guys that wanted to learn more, and started to get a little bit of instruction over in Rome, New York, and then moved down to Maryland and looked for a boxing club and couldn't find one. Joined a competitive karate club, and some of the people in the karate club liked what I was able to do with my hands, and they asked me to show them how to use boxing techniques, which really I couldn't do because it was a karate institution. So I had a big poultry farm, and I had a machine shed, and I had a ring in there and a gym, and I had people coming over to my house, and we all started working out together, and then it evolved into more coaching than actually training and wanting to compete, and that's how it all started.
During your time as a trainer, how many years experience do you have, sir?
About 31 years.
Oh, wow.
Within that 31 years, and, I remember, watching, guys like Boom Boom Mancini and Harry Arroyo and, guys from my hometown. And I remember them, running the hills. And, we could almost tell dinner time, by what time they were running past the house. You had,
right.
Like you said, you had the ring, you had ring wars. How much difference do you see in training methods in your 31 years?
Well, it's like boxing is very much like the construction industry. It used to be, an old carpenter went in and he built a house from start to finish, and now you've got trades that one guy hangs drywall, one guy finishes drywall, and another crew goes in and sands it, and everything's so specialized. And in the boxing world, it's the same thing. You got your one guy does the nutrition now, one guy does strength training, and you're breaking it up into pre-camps and then camp, and everything has gotten so scientific and specified, and some of that's really good. But back in the day, one guy told you how to eat, told you how to train, told you how to fight. Now it takes a team of 4 or 5 people to train somebody, or it seems that way.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because to me that's kind of taken from boxing. Because a lot of these fighters, they want to do all this personal training, but they're not doing what's most important: sparring, boxing, jump rope. They want to go out there and do all this other stuff, and that's taken from boxing.
Well, one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, Sugar Ray Robinson, he did the same thing all the time. It was pretty basic. He did his running, did his shadow boxing, did his speed bag, he did his sparring, he did his ab work. It wasn't real complicated. In fact, it was so, in some ways, it was so simple that it was boring, and most people probably couldn't handle that nowadays, doing that same type of training every day. But that's what made him great,
That's true. It's a show now. Everybody wants to put on a show. They saw Mayweather on 24/7 and doing the pad works and rolling that shoulder roll and throwing the little punches, and it's a show now. Everybody wants to be, oh, man, you see how fast he threw them punches? Oh, man, look. Then he goes from doing that to hitting the guy with the big old the protector on his ribs. Then he goes from that to doing this, and, and like you say, old school never fails, never plays out.
Now, like I said, a lot of things have changed, and sometimes I think some of these young fighters are relying on it too much, to the point where if it's not right, then it becomes a detriment to them. So if all of a sudden they feel their nutrition's not right, all of a sudden, they can't fight right, or if their strength training coach doesn't do this or that just right, then they can't do it. Sometimes you just got to dig deep and go into it and work hard, and then take it to the ring. I think there's a lot of room for guys to get mentally messed up with all these different people in the mix.
Absolutely. You don't know who's putting what, giving, like them personal trainers. A lot of them personal trainers be giving you things that they want you to be stronger, so you don't know what it is. So now you go and fail a drug test, and it's because the personal trainer try to give you an edge and try to help you out, but he don't know that right there you can't take. Or he give you something, he don't care if you take it or not, because, people are not taking a certain kind of drug test that the kind of drug test that Mayweather wanted Pacquiao to take, and he said he wouldn't take.
Yeah, and you have to be careful of that. A while back, years ago, there's a boxer, a heavyweight named Mike Hunter. His father was a professional fighter, Mike the Bounty Hunter. And Mike Hunter came and stayed with me for 3 weeks before the Olympic trials back in 2008. And we trained together, and at one point in time, Mike broke out with a rash, and he wanted to go to the doctor, so I took him to a local doctor here, and the doctor said, no problem, I'll prescribe this drug. And I said, oh, no, wait a minute, you've got to check with USADA to make sure that drug's okay. You've got to be very vigilant on what goes into a boxer in any way, whether it's a topical cream or a medicine of any type. And I don't understand how these pros can, get us to believe that it's an accident that they're taking a banned substance. I've never put anything in my body that was an accident.
That's true. That's true.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned that, Al, because that can segue right into the Canelo drug test, the consequences that it has on boxing in general, knowing that someone that we had made a boxing almost a boxing icon at such an early age, and he's blaming it on contaminated meat. Well, I live in San Diego, and I've never ate contaminated meat from Mexico. It seems to me you would have to, maybe go down and order a special plate or something. But Mike, what do you think? Bovada testing and all that. I think all these things are good for boxing, but what are your thoughts here? We've had the gamut. Billy Joel Sanders says that Canelo should be banned for life. Now Triple G says he might not fight Canelo in September. What do you think here? Has this kind of upset the whole apple cart as far as public trust in boxing?
Yeah, when steroids and everything came into boxing, it was a negative thing. We were supposed to be such a pure sport. All this thing with doping goes on in the bicycling world, and of course football and everything else. But boxing was supposed to be a little more pure, and then it started popping up, and you started seeing more and more guys using it. And a lot of it came when they put their nutritionist in there, and these guys said they knew how to use the stuff, and they knew how to use it so that it's out of your system, and everybody's an expert. And then they screw up, and then, like you say, you take an icon like Canelo. This guy really lost a lot of respect in the boxing world. Should he be banned for life or anything like that? I don't know about that. He's a boxer, and I'm sure he has to pay some dues for doing this, but banning for life, that's pretty, I've seen people do worse than that weren't banned for life. So they need to be punished for sure, and it needs to cost them, and it's costing him with his reputation, and when it costs you with your reputation, it's also going to cost you financially as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like whoever actually caught Canelo doing that, I take my hat off to him, because something like that, with him being the figure he is, the name he is, they could have easily swept it up under the rug.
Well, it could happen in boxing where people are looking the other way. All you need to do is the right people in the right place, and possibly being paid off. You see it happen in other sports.
Yeah,
it gets looked the other way, where people just don't do anything about it. It goes on. But
Yep. And he's the golden boy. He's the new golden boy. He's the new cash cow. When Mayweather retired, he's that guy. He sells out pay-per-view like never before. That's why, all these guys that's talking about him, they will still fight him. Triple G is talking about that he should be banned for life. If it's a chance for him to fight any fighter in the world, he wants to fight Canelo, because that's his big payday. Same thing with Saunders. His biggest payday is Canelo. Charlo, biggest payday is Canelo. Daniel Jacobs, his biggest day is who? Canelo.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing about this is if a fighter's taking a performance-enhancing drug and they get caught, and then all of a sudden they can't use it, or they're being watched and they won't use it, now all of a sudden you've got a mental factor there, where this guy was training at a higher level, he was recovering at faster times and able to train harder, and all of a sudden that's gone. So now what's that do mentally for that fighter as he prepares for a fight without being able to use any of those aids?
Absolutely. Yep.
By the way, that's my co-host, K9 Bundrage, two-time world junior middleweight champ.
Sure, I know K9.
Man, he know me, man. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Made me feel good.
Actually, we were going to fight K9 one time, a long time ago, with a fighter I had named Fernando Guerrero.
Oh, you were?
Years ago, yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. Yep. I didn't know that. You know what? I think I knew.
But we were with Al Heyman, and your name was brought up, and it was something that everybody was looking at pretty seriously.
Okay. Well, I hope the money was right. Was they talking good?
Out on that one.
Oh my goodness! Lord. Oh man, we got to go find Al. You know he incognito. We got to go find him ASAP.
Oh, you know where to look. You can find him. You can find him.
Right. Hey man, for real, you know, I know.
Al,
Yep.
we ask everyone that's come on the show tonight about this possible announcement by the Olympics that we may not have boxing due to AIBA corruption. How we've been threatened with this, I would say probably since at least 2008, maybe.
Right.
And, I think it really came to a head in Rio when there were so many discrepancies in judging and so much feedback about bouts and whatnot. You couldn't even. I live in San Diego, so we got a lot of helicopters coming over. But anyway, we had this big discussion about Olympics night, including boxing. Hal, what does this do to amateur programs? In Maryland and different places that you know of, where amateur boxers depend upon the Olympics to make their bones.
It's sad. It's real sad. I mean, I'm not alone here. We've got a lot of coaches that have put a lifetime into this. They're working hard every day. They don't really care about – they care about what's going on at the top, but it's not like it controls them. These guys are going to the gym 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week. They're working with kids, and the sweat's pouring and the blood's pouring, and kids are working really hard. So the sport is healthy in that way, and it just seems like it's being destroyed from the top down. Club shows are still good. We're still having plenty of shows around our area, more shows than ever, in fact. And I don't understand it. It's a great sport. It's still got a lot of popularity. I've got more kids in the gym than ever, and a lot of the other gyms around here in Maryland are the same way. And to me, somebody at the top is blowing it. And there's no reason why boxing shouldn't be one of the premier sports. It was one of the premier sports back during the '76 Olympics. People wanted to watch boxing. Even when Ali was fighting in '64 Olympics, boxing was a huge thing that people wanted to see during the Summer Olympics. Now you don't get to see it hardly at all. And, of course, like you say, they're threatening to get rid of it. It's not because the sport's not exciting. It's not because it's not a great sport. It's politics and a bunch of other reasons, and poor marketing of the sport. I see more things about gymnastics and ice skating. You don't see. When was the last time you saw amateur boxing promoted in any way in a newspaper, on a billboard, in a magazine, or anything other than somebody holding a show?
That's right.
Well, I can go even further than that, Hal. I remember when you had boxing writers, you had a boxing beat. How many of those are still left?
Yeah, I just don't get it. We have a fellow back here in Maryland, Gary Digital Williams, that does boxing along the Beltway, and he is the voice of boxing here in the Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware area. But there was a time when there'd be 10 of those people doing the same thing, and now one person can handle it. But it's sad. I put my life into this sport, and there's no reason why it can't be just as great as it was once. At one time, boxing was the sport. The sport.
Yep, that's right.
I know you're very modest, Hal. Tell us a little bit about your induction into the Maryland Boxing Hall of Fame and what it meant to you after all your years of hard work.
Well, basically, I kind of said it in my speech when I went up and was called up to the podium, and I feel very strongly about this, that first of all, there's no way I would have been standing up on that stage, and there's no way I would have been inducted into the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for a lot of other people, because my program is not run by just what I do. I have sponsors that have helped. I have a board of directors. I have assistant coaches that are phenomenal. There's so many people that make it run, and I'm just lucky enough to be the guy that gets pushed up into the spotlight. So everybody sees me, but what they don't see is all the work that other people do to make all this happen. I mean, I'm going to the Golden Gloves Nationals next week with my heavyweight out in Omaha, Nebraska. I couldn't do that if I didn't have two great assistant coaches that can take my Junior Olympics boxers to their competition. So it takes such a team to be able to do all this, and then to get the credit for it, it kind of makes you feel a little awkward in accepting the award, but it certainly was a beautiful award, and I did accept it.
So tell us a little bit about your fighter that you're going to this bout with.
His name is Thomas Mottinger, and anything I say he wouldn't mind me saying, but Thomas started off with a shaky start. He got out there in the streets a little bit and started doing some things he wasn't supposed to do and knew better, but the streets drew him in up in Wilmington, Delaware, and eventually he wound up incarcerated and could have been incarcerated for quite a long time, but logistics helped him out, and the next thing you know, he was able to get out of prison, and while he was in there, he saw some people that he knew that turned their lives around, and he said, if they can do it, I can do it. And he immediately dug his feet in and he went to work, and the first thing he did is he went to school to learn heating and air conditioning and passed all that. And then he had a full-time job when he got out, and then he started working on his real estate license, which he got. He became a realtor, and now he started his own home improvement business, and the home improvement and the real estate worked hand in hand. And this is a guy that's working 2 days a week and plus training, and he said one of my goals was to go to the Golden Gloves Nationals. It's what I've always wanted to do, and he's been with me a couple of years now, and this year he made it to the Nationals. Worked very hard, very tough guy, very dedicated. Don't have to worry about him being in shape. He's going to do that on his own. And we're in a class. We're going to be going up against Cam Awesome. And, of course, he's pretty much dominated that heavyweight division. But if we go up against him, we're going to give him everything we got. And hopefully this kid could win a national title, which would be one of his main goals in life.
Yeah, the sad part about that, though, if he wins the national and he wins the national again the next year, I mean, he could be the guy that represents the heavyweights in the Olympics, but not if it's no Olympics.
No, and there's nothing you can do about that. And hopefully, everything takes money. And if there was enough money behind USA Boxing, if there was enough there, you can get anything you want. I mean, everything's about lobbying. And if you've got the money to lobby for something, you can get what you want. There's money in tennis. There's money in gymnastics. There's money in ice skating. And all these sports have a lot of money behind it. Boxing is a completely different sport. You look at
that's right.
I would dare say 60%, I'm just throwing a number out there, but 60% of the athletes that come into the sport of boxing and excel come from poverty-level homes, broken homes, are at-risk youth, in trouble, and all these things, and then they come in and they get themselves turned around, and there's no money behind them.
Hey, it seems like you're talking about me.
Well, you and a lot of others like you, and
absolutely.
And
absolutely.
It's not the same. I mean, if your kid's on a swim team, you're paying big money for them to belong to a swim team, and there's big money to support it. But
that's true. True.
It's not a money sport, and because of that, I think they're getting kicked around a little bit. What people don't realize is it might not be a money sport, but it is the sport that will get more kids out of trouble and get them off the streets than anything else.
That's right. That's right.
Those kids that need it the most are not going to go into tennis. They're not going to play volleyball. They're not going to play soccer. they're going to go into boxing, and sometimes I feel like boxing's the last line of defense before you lose these kids.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. I know Barry Gordon credited boxing for him launching off Motown. And I want to elaborate on what you was just saying, too, about it not being enough money in the amateur program. Oh, man, the USA boxing team, they getting a huge amount of money from Under Armour, I think from Adidas. I think HBO, no, Showtime. Showtime is a sponsor, too, so they got a lot of sponsors, but where is the money going? I mean, is it going into, where is it going, in pockets? I mean, I don't know where the money is going, but they generating some money.
As members of USA Boxing, we should know where it's going, and we should be able to check on where it's going. It is a nonprofit, so the book should be wide open. But
that's right.
We've had so many problems in the past with USA Boxing. Year after year, they've had people in there that were doing things they weren't supposed to do, and they were changing leadership all the time, and there was everything from incompetence to theft. I mean, it's been a complete gambit. And every time they try to say it's being fixed, but meanwhile, while it's being fixed, we're going downhill in terms of popularity of the sport.
Yeah, because I see. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I've actually reached out to Mr. Joe Valente and from USA Boxing, and we want to try to get him on the show and ask him some of those tough questions also.
Absolutely. Where that money at?
Or better yet, what's being done to promote the sport? Show us what's being done to promote the sport. That's the one question I want to hear. What's being done to promote amateur boxing?
That's right. Yeah,
nothing. I've been asking that question for quite a number of years, especially I grew up, with the PAL, the New York Golden Gloves, all of the Golden Gloves from us. I believe District 3 is the Ohio district, and it's just been, kind of, like you say, what happened to the money? Everybody's saying, we're supporting this, we're supporting that, but we have less tournaments, we have less equipment for the fighters. We've changed the rules, we've changed the coaching rules for the USA boxing team. I mean, the whole 9 yards. But how you have quite a few champions right around that Beltway area there.
Yeah, we do. A lot of good friends of mine, and the coaches are friends of mine, so pretty proud of this area. Of course, Barry Hunter, I know you've had Barry on there. Barry's a friend of mine and got some real killers over there in Headbangers Gym. Lamont and Anthony kind of lead the way over there in that place. But you've got Calvin Ford over here in Baltimore with Javante Davis, and he's got a couple people coming right behind Javante you're going to be looking at. There's a lot of good fighters in this area.
So that's a good thing. Yep, that's a good thing. Like you say, it's the fighters are still being produced, but it's just like, we need them in commercials. We need them to be in the Olympics. We need some better sponsorships, like, looking out for the fighters. It kind of reminds me of college basketball. Somebody's eating, but not the fighters.
Yeah.
Not the basketball players.
Yep. It's true, and we're going to keep throwing them out. We don't care what's done at the top. We're going to keep doing it at the grassroots level. We're going to be grinding it out at the gym every single night. That's what we do.
And another thing that's good too. No, sorry about that, James. I just wanted to say this real quick while so on my brain. It's good to see brothers like you who's been in the sport for so long that hasn't abandoned the sport and stayed around. And I feel like a lot of the the trainers, from the 80s or the 70s, with them not being around anymore, it's like, the young kids and the young people, they don't know how big boxing was. They haven't heard of Muhammad Ali's, but all they can tell you is the person that they hear or see all the time, like like a Mayweather or Muhammad Ali. They don't know who Gary Russell Jr. is, and it's just the opposite when it comes to basketball. They know who LeBron James is. They know who Curry is. I mean, we can go on and on and on. They know Russell Westbrook, and they need to know, about K9. They need to know about your fighter. They need to know who you are. They know who the coaches are and everything. And it's just, it's not enough promotion going on for these up-and-coming fighters. And, I mean, the next great fighter could be right next door to me, but we'll never know who he is.
I mean, Jared Hurd, he was at the Hall of Fame, and I know Jared. I know his trainer. I mean, he's a Maryland fighter, so we all know him. But great fighter, making us proud over here in Maryland, yet sometimes I think the kid could walk down the street and nobody'd even know who he was.
That's what I'm talking about. You got Deontay Wilder. He's a heavyweight champion of the world. Do you know being a heavyweight champion of the world in the 80s and the 70s, you was like the president. Not anymore.
Yep. It's really a shame. I mean, I still go all the way back to the time when a guy like Joe Louis fought somebody like Max Schmeling, and basically the entire United States stopped. Everything stopped.
There you go.
Everybody was gathered around the radio. It didn't matter whether you were in Harlem. It didn't matter if you were out on some farm in Iowa. The world was listening because that's how it was back then.
When I won my first world title, it was big for trainers or managers or people who are up in age that was around in the days of when you was a world champion, you was the man. But the young generation see you as a world champion, they like, what that mean? They don't know how big it is to become a world champion, not a state champion, a world champion.
It's
not many do that.
It's so much sacrifice, so much dedication that they can't understand it unless you do it. If you're not in boxing and see what goes on and understand it, it's a different lifestyle. A boxer's a different type of athlete. It's a unique situation. Man's got to be strong. He's got to be fast, and he's got to watch his weight at the same time, which sometimes is detrimental to being strong and being fast if you can't eat like you need to eat. And so it's a unique sport that way. But I love the sport. I just love everything about it.
Al, before we go, there's two fights I have to ask you about. Of course, the Lomachenko Linares bout, and then, of course, the fight right down there in your area, Mr. Gary Russell against the young man, Cole Diaz Jr. Your thoughts on those two bouts, please.
Well, I'm a purist in the fact that Gary Russell, I've known Gary Russell since he was a little kid. And he's been beat, but Gary Russell's one of those guys that just knows how to get the win when he needs to. And he's a friend, but I also believe he's a great fighter. And I think he can pull this fight off. I really do. As far as Linares and Lomachenko does things that he's just it looks so easy. What he does looks so easy, but it's so difficult and so hard to keep up with that he amazes me. I'm just in awe of that guy. Of all the fighters I've seen in a long time, Lomachenko's the one that I watch him like I watch Willie Pep. And he probably watched Willie Pep as well, because he does things so sharp, his movement and the way he can catch angles on you, and he almost does it so naturally that it looks like it's not taking any effort. And so, those I'm going to go with Lomachenko, and I got to go with Gary Russell on those. But I like Lomachenko a lot. I'm real high on him.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for your time this evening. I know it's a little late back there on the East Coast. Fortunately, I'm out here in California, so my evening is getting started.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's all right. I'll go to bed, and I'll be up early, and I'll give you a call, all right?
Hey, and there was some good picks too. I'm going with the same guys you was going with. Same guys.
Well, good that I'm in good company, K9.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Gary Russell, Lomachenko.
Yep, they're my guys.
Hal, why don't you
thank you so much.
Your final thoughts and tell everybody where they can find you on social media if you have any, or any other information you might like to give to our audience.
Well, our gym is Main Street Gym, and we have a Facebook page for Main Street Gym, and of course Hal Chernoff. We post a lot of stuff right on Hal Chernoff. I don't post a lot. I'll put up some pictures of the kids in the gym and what we're doing, events like that, and then we have a website for Main Street Gym as well. Just Main Street Gym, Boxing Salisbury. That's about it. Anybody that wants to call me, they're welcome to call me on the phone for anything. I was supposed to go to England with Kenny Porter to work with a heavyweight, Linroy Thomas, who fought this last weekend, but we had the Golden Gloves regionals, so I wasn't able to go. And right now, I know Kenny's on his way home, so we're pretty excited about Sean Porter getting a crack at Danny Garcia. So that's what we're preparing for.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
It is going to be good.
Right, well, we have your number, and you can definitely depend on us calling you back on the show. So
absolutely.
We love spending the time with you, Hal, and thank you so much for taking some of your time to be with us tonight. We appreciate it.
But if I can ever help you in any way, don't hesitate to call me.
Hey, tell Guerrero I said glove up.
Guerrero's out there in California. You tell him he's out closer to you. Hey, it would have been a good one, K9. It would have been a good one.
Man, I would have got him in one. Oh, my goodness. Nice talking to you, man. And congratulations, too, again, for the Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Yep, you're welcome.
You have a great night.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Okay.
Well, K9, we got through our first official show together, and before we go off the air, we're going to have some comments from the Dog Pound, from the man himself. So, K9, the floor is yours. Your final thoughts for the evening and where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it tonight as usual. You know, it's always good chopping it up with you. Man, you know, of course, you guys can find me on K9 Boxing, at K9 Boxing, all social media, from YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I even got a YouTube channel, K9 Boxing, where I will be showing, some, how to train, how to box, how to slip, how to do the peekaboo. And actually, I'm about to run this gym too. You know what I'm saying? I'm a partner with my guy. We call him Ugly, and we about to actually run this gym right here. It's called the Underdog Boxing. It's a nice gym. You guys are welcome to come if you're in the city. You can come get you some pad work, learn how to slip, learn how to peekaboo and all that good stuff. But, man, I'm happy. I'm excited to be, talking on the air to all my people that love boxing. And I thank them for tuning in to the kennel, the Dog Pound. And look forward to talking to my main man, James, once again, as we kick it about the boxing game. Good
all
night,
right,
people.
Man, all right. Well, like I said, we had some great guests on tonight. Looking to have Tim back on the show. I'd like to get him on a little more regular. And between the two of you guys, knowledge, hey, you can take the old man to school. I don't mind.
That's right. Hey, we unfortunately, I think Tony Harrison might be a little tired of sleep because he's finna fight E.J. Smith this Friday. So once he get back from falling asleep and not being able to be on the show, we gonna have to spar. So you know what it is. All right.
All right, man. Well, yeah, we definitely want want to get Tony on the show after his victory this week. He's going to be on Bounce TV, and he's the main event. So we got some big things from the guy from Detroit.
Detroit.
That's right. So, all right, man. Let's remind everybody we are now the Dog Pound with the K9 Boxing every Tuesday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. That's Pacific time. And we look forward to having a great relationship and always bringing great guests to our audience. So thank you, everyone, for listening tonight. Glad to see the switchboard was lit up. A lot of people in the queue. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next Tuesday, same time, same podcast. Have a great night, everyone. See you next week.